All right, gang. So this is the first of two videos that's going to show you how to refine your walk action. This is where we left off in class the other night. And the basic action's working, but we need to refine this so it looks more like an actual walk. First thing I want to show you, though, is how to create a layer over here in the display window to hide your controls when you test. Because the geo on this character is turned into a you can't get to it mode, it's really easy to do. I'm just going to drag select over all of the controls so they all highlight. Then I'm going to come to the display layer and click on this button right here, the little diamond with the circle on top of it. You can see in the bottom left corner it says create new layer and assign selected objects. And I'm going to hit that and I get a new layer, and then I'm going to double click on it to rename it, and I'm going to call it controls. And then there's another little thing I want to do right here. If I check hide on playback, anytime I'm scrubbing the timeline or I hit play to test it, these will all become non-visible. So I hit this, and now I've got a control layer, and I could turn it on and off here, but because we hit that checkbox, if I hit play, they all go away. If I scrub, they all go away, and then as soon as it stops again and I let go, they pop back. So it's really nifty. All right, so I'm going to look at this from the side view, and I've got I've set up a left side right here. I'm just used to working this way. Well, we could absolutely do it with the character facing the other direction, but I'm just used to doing it this way, so it's easier. So we've got our step in, but nobody walks with their feet flat like this. There's a push off on the back, and there's a heel strike at the beginning. So we're going to need a heel strike up front, and at the back, when the foot goes back, this foot moves to the back. Here's where our heel strike is going to happen. And then back here at the back, we need that foot to kind of roll up a little bit so that we can get it ready to push off. I'm going to work on just one leg. You'll do this on both legs, but in the interest of time for the video, I'm only going to do one leg. And then I've got a scene file set up that has both legs doing it. It's kind of like a cooking show. You know, you do all the ingredients and put it together and stick it in the oven and then pretend 20 minutes has passed and you take it out and it's good. All right. So we're going to start with our front foot here. And I could use the foot control itself to roll the foot, but that gets a little messy. And this particular rig is set up with some really cool controls over here that will allow us to do something very similar, but give us a lot more control. If you see right here, we've got an item called foot roll. And if I click on the name, come into the scene, middle mouse click and drag, I can roll that foot up onto the toe or down onto the heel. Because this is the front contact position, I want to hit a heel strike. So I'm going to roll it up on the heel like this. And you can see, if I put this back to 0, we've got a relatively straight leg here. As soon as I roll it up on the heel, the knee starts to bend. So this is going to be something you'll have to do throughout your walk. As you're adding these details, you'll have to kind of adjust where the foot is to make sure that it works correctly. So once that's up on the heel, I'm going to get my move tool and I'm going to move my foot forward. Again, I don't want a really straight leg. I don't want to lock that knee. I want to leave a little bit of a bend. And that's our first bit. Just like that. It's that simple. Then we're going to come to our passing position, and we're going to flatten this out, go to 0. We might have to bring that foot down just a little bit. Bring it down. That leg's a little straight, so I'm going to just take my my body control and move the character down a little bit, again to give the knee just a little bit of a bend, not a ton. But what happens now is that the foot comes back, and here in the passing position, we got a little bit of a bend and it's flat. So the foot kind of rolls down flat. And we're going to play with that some more in the next video. We're going to make sure that that foot comes down a few frames after the heel strike happens, because that's usually what happens when we walk. But for now, it's fine. And the other thing we want to do is on this frame, we want to get our toe roll control here, because we're about to use this, and we want to make sure that we set this key for the toe roll. We want to key this particular frame so that we're on 0. We'll be on 0 at 1. You see it's already keyed. The little red mark tells us it's keyed. And here we want to key it again. So with the toe roll selected, I'm going to right click and go up to key selected, and it'll key that particular control. And then we're going to come to frame 13, and we're going to use both the foot and the toe roll this time. I'm going to start with the toe roll. You can do these in either order. It's really up to you, but you want to give it a little bit of a bend, because what we're going to do is we're going to roll the foot up like this, like the foot is pushing off. I'm going to give it a little bit more roll, and like once again, you know, the foot's in midair, so we're going to have to take the main control here and kind of play with it a little bit and get the foot back down on the ground with a little bit of a bend in the knee. Again, we don't want to go totally straight. We're going to give a little bit of a bend. So we've got frame 1, got the foot in the heel strike. In the passing position, we're straight, we're flat. That's straight. The leg's not straight, the foot's flat. And back here, our toe is still on the ground. The heel is coming up, so we're getting ready to push off. And then we're going to come out here to our passing position with the foot in the air, and I'm going to take the foot roll and I'm going to roll this back so that the foot is in a the sole of the foot is perpendicular to the ground. And I'm going to take the toe roll and I'm going to push it a little bit past, because once the foot pushes off here, we're going to want to have some fun with that toe, and we're going to cover that in the next video. And again, because of the roll that we've done, we've got to get that foot and move it. My video card takes a little bit of time to catch up to the positions that I've set. And you'll see there's a little bit of a tweak here. We'll fix that in the next video. So the leg comes forward, and there's our passing position. The toe's a little bit bent. And then for this frame here, we're just going to come back to frame 1. I'm going to middle mouse click, drag all the way down to 25, and then hit S and key all of those. So now frame 1 and frame 25 are the same. Although I need to adjust, look at there, I need to adjust the height, because my heights are different. Yeah, 25 is pretty good, actually. So with this control, I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to grab this, take it down to 1, and do an S and set that key. So we've got it up, we've got it down, and then I'm also going to do the same thing here, because this control is controlling the translate Y value. I can do it one of two ways. I can either come out here to 13 and do just the move controls by holding Shift and hitting W, or I can go to frame 1, copy this, copy selected, and then go to frame 13 and right click and paste selected. It's the same value, so it's really not an issue, but you know, just to show you, let's say it was more like that. We could just do actually a Command C, highlight that, Command C, whoops, sorry. We'll copy it first, Command C, frame 13, Command V, and paste it, hit return, and there it goes. And I have a key on 14 for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I don't need that. So we've got character up, character down, up, down. I'm looking at this now. I'm going to actually push the down just a little bit more. In just a little bit more exaggerated position. Middle mouse, drag, Shift W for the height, middle mouse drag, Shift W for the height. There we go. And we'll make sure that these two are the same as well. Again, I got something here. I'm not sure why that's there. There we go. And I'm going to shift frame 19 and Shift W to get our height again. Just checking, make sure everything's the same. Yep, we're all good. Okay. So that's our blocking in of our foot positions, so that, and again, it's just the one foot. You'll do it on both feet. You can see here that this is kind of coming up a little bit because it's passing. But that's the one foot. When you're done with both feet, it'll look like this. We'll go from the side. Let's look at, there we go. So you can see it's got a little bit of up and down. The, whoops, sorry. The foot's coming down. This foot's going in the passing position. Toes rolling up on the back foot. Front foot is doing a heel strike. And then they reverse. And each one does the other one. And there's a little bit of stuff here we need to clean up. This is going below the ground plane, so is that. But we'll address that in the next video, where we do a lot of refinement. So there we are. And this is the first of two, like I said. The other one will be up shortly if you see this on Friday. If you don't, then they'll both be up and you'll be okay. If you have any questions, please be sure to ask. If you're working in the lab assistants generally have all taken this class, so they'll be able to help you. And I will see you in the next video.